You're listening to Blind Chats with the Back Road Chicks.
Welcome to the Late Night Cruise.
The Late Night Cruise.
We're your hosts,
Courtney
and Brienne. Buckle in.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Have we begun?
Maybe.
Oh, that's a yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Blind Chats with the Back Road Chicks.
Hi. Glad to have you here.
We have decided that we're going to do a little series.
We will be talking about the 5 love languages that Dr. Gary Chapman has so wonderfully provided us with in his book.
What's the book called?
The 5 Love Languages.
Oh.
It is the love languages. The subtitle, I can't remember what that part was, but he is a doctor. He has his PhD in education and seminary, and he's a marriage and family therapist.
Oh.
Yes, so he has wonderful perspectives, and he's been doing this for decades now. So I very much value all of his input and stuff, and it's all based on romantic partner relationships, but
excellent.
I believe it can be applied in friendships and workplaces as well, which will be interesting.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. I have taken that test.
Yes.
The 5lovelanguages.com.
Yes.
Number 5, the words love languages, all one word, .com.
Yes, everybody should do it.
Everybody should do it. We will put it in the episode notes.
And a link to purchase the book.
Yes, absolutely. I should read that book.
You really should.
I know.
I just bought the revised version. It gives modern day examples of love languages with couples, which is actually really good.
Excellent. So I know that our topic today is not my love language, but we are going to dive into it. So I think we're going to go in order of the book, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So to kick off the series, we will start with love language of words of affirmation.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure.
I mean, it seems pretty basic.
Yeah, I guess for everyone listening, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I mean, of course, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into exactly what that means.
Totally.
So words of affirmation is pretty much exactly how it sounds. So if you are someone who likes what people say, like compliments or appreciation, if you do a good job or anything kind of that nature, or terms of endearment, anything like that, it feels good to receive and hear those words, then you likely have, or that could be one of your love languages. So it is important to know that we all have a primary love language. That's the one that we score the absolute highest in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a secondary love language. And I know for myself, I'm not sure about you, but mine score pretty closely.
Mine too, yeah.
Yeah, so my secondary and my tertiary are very, very close. Interestingly, my words of affirmation actually used to be my love language.
Oh, interesting.
And normally love languages don't change. But I think what happened was my whole life was pretty much words of affirmation. But because of the trauma I've been through and how people's words have impacted me and let me down, and they say actions speak louder than words, mine actually changed. And my love language is now quality time.
Interesting.
My primary.
That's your primary now?
Yes. And in friendships, my primary is still same thing, quality time. But so basically what I did, it's not in the book, but I took the test from when I was single and when I was in a relationship. And current day, while I'm single, my love languages are primary is quality time and my secondary is words of affirmation.
Oh, okay.
But in a relationship, my primary is still quality time, but my words of affirmation is replaced by physical touch. So those two switch. So in a relationship, my secondary is physical touch, then words of affirmation. Outside of a romantic relationship, it's words of affirmation, then physical touch.
Okay.
So I thought that was a neat little insight.
That is kind of neat. Like, I wonder, I mean, obviously it absolutely makes sense as to why those would change.
Yes.
For
I don't want my friends touching me like that.
No, I guess not. Then you'd be like, a little bit, we'd be like, okay, all right. Okay. You like, keep some distance, personal space.
No, don't touch me there. There's my no-no square.
I know that mine, I've just recently done this test, so I had never done it before. I had never identified what my love language was or is. So I did it from, I took the test from the perspective of in a relationship.
Yep.
So my love language, my primary is quality time, and my secondary is physical touch.
Ah, the same.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
So words of affirmation is actually third on my list.
Yep, me too. And then acts of service and then gifts.
Yeah, me too.
We're saming. Twinning. No wonder we're co-hosts.
I'm sure the percentages are different.
You know what? It's funny because it's kind of similar. My gifts were like driving, so I'm bouncing and my voice is going crazy as my titties bounce. Mia. My gifts has always been really low. It's been around 3%. My quality time's always around between 33 and 36.
Yeah.
And then my physical touch and words of affirmation are in their high 20s, very like 1 or 2% off. And my acts of service hovers around like 16%-ish. 15-ish.
I'm not remembering my exact numbers right now, but I do know that my quality time was like 36.
Yeah.
36%. And my physical touch was not far behind at about 33. I don't remember what the rest of them were.
Yeah, definitely.
Gifts was really, really low. Anyways, we are tangenting. We're going to talk about words of affirmation today.
But that's okay. So they get kind of a background of what
they get a little bit,
what they are and what they kind of mean.
So
we should list them all, I think, actually, though, so everybody knows. We kind of did there, but they're the 5 love languages. It's how you receive love. So that's an important thing to remember as well. They are words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, and physical touch. So that's how you receive love. So oftentimes with love languages, when you're in a romantic relationship, people try to give what they know to be love to them.
Yes.
So, for instance, if we, like as in Courtney and I, because our love languages are both quality time, for example, if we were trying to show our partners we love them by being completely attentive and in the moment and present and phones away, like having that genuine quality time, but their love language was, say, acts of service, we wouldn't be speaking the same language, so they wouldn't feel loved, even though we would think that we were being loving because we're giving that to them.
Right. So I think that, a key to, obviously the keys to good relationships, communication is always huge. But I think identifying your significant other's love language would greatly increase your ability to speak it.
Of course.
Right? For me, mine is quality time. My boyfriend's love language is words of affirmation. So it's me telling him positive things. I'm still learning a little bit about them. So for me, like I'm learning the words of affirmation. I'm learning the idea that is his love language. So I will say things like, you're an amazing dad. You are an amazing person. You're sweet. You're wonderful. You're caring. Things like that. Like I feel like words of encouragement are always really good. Or like if he's having a bad day, you're amazing. That kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And even things of appreciation. It's like, hey, that means a lot to me that you remembered this thing that I said or this thing that I did.
Yeah.
Or thank you so much for paying attention. Or you make me feel really safe. Or you're so charming. That shirt looks good on you. You're sexy. Like any kind of compliment too. Or
I do a lot of that too.
Yeah. Or hey, you did a really great job on that construction project in the house. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And if you don't know your love language, a couple of the ways, and Dr. Gary Chapman talks about it too, that you can help yourself to identify it aside from just taking the quiz is if there's something that you're constantly giving to others, it might be because that's a deprivation within yourself and that's what you're needing to receive.
Okay.
So that's a way that you can kind of figure that out. So if you're constantly complimenting other people, for example, for words of affirmation, that might be a way to know that words of affirmation might be something important to you, because often we give that out.
Oh, okay. So you give out what you are, like what you need.
Often. It can be
in
a hint.
return.
Yeah.
It can be a hint. Okay.
And it's important to know the converse of that. So words also impact people negatively. So for people who have a love language of words of affirmation, if you're insulted or you're put down, for example, or you're called names, or you're criticized or ridiculed for what you're wearing, what you look like, for a project you've done, or by your partner, anything like that, you're going to take that harder than somebody who doesn't have the love language of words of affirmation, because it works in the reverse as well. And that's why as well, when you see your partner, which it's still inappropriate either way, because you're in a relationship, but it's going to hurt. Like, so if you are flirting with or hitting on an opposite sex person or complimenting them, that's going to hurt your partner that much more, because not only are you not providing them with their words of affirmation love language, but now you're exacerbating that effect by giving that love language to somebody else.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's a really good point. That's terrifying, actually.
Oh, yeah. And that's a lot of the reasons why social media is so ugly, because you'll see men, and women too, but you'll see men on there, say, liking another woman's profile picture, commenting on it, calling her beautiful and all of that stuff. Meanwhile, they don't do that for their own partner or their own spouse, or they don't do it in person.
Is there a jealousy component to it as well? Like, I'm thinking, like if a male or female comments on an opposite sex friend of theirs, and that person's significant other's love language is words of affirmation. So let's say a male friend of mine complimented me on my profile picture. Like, would say my boyfriend's jealousy of that comment?
Well, I would say that wouldn't impact words of affirmation, because you aren't the one doing it. So
right.
In that case, then the jealousy piece could pop in. I mean, if you're handing out the comments or compliments to somebody else, I think it'd be very context-based.
Okay.
How you determine if it's jealousy or a words of affirmation issue. I think jealousy can often be overused. I mean, if somebody's deliberately, like, it's not jealousy when someone's disrespecting the relationship by handing out compliments to the opposite sex. They shouldn't be doing that.
No, you're right. That's fair.
So that's not jealousy. That's just disrespect.
Yep.
And anger provoking for that reason.
Fair enough.
So just remember, mind what you say. Either way, even if that's not your partner's love language, it's a thing of respect. But the love languages, they work both ways, positive and negative in direction.
So when you think about words of affirmation, I don't know if I don't know how many people I know that have that as their love language. Again, I'm still very new to the subject.
It's very common, actually.
Is it?
Yes, it's one of the top ones. Statistically, a lot more women have words of affirmation and quality time as their primary.
I can see that.
And statistically, men often have physical touch as the highest. But across both sexes, words of affirmation is very prominent.
And do you think that it's like, okay, here's a, probably not so popular question. Like, do you think that it has something to do with, vanity or self-image?
I mean, in some cases it might, but on the Ask the Guys episode, Grant made a good point. A lot of times for men in particular, they don't receive compliments or affection of that nature or anything like that. So they're more inclined to be deprived. So, I mean, he won't mind me saying, I know his love language, his primary is words of affirmation, and then physical touch. And that's a very common combination as well. So for men, if they do receive that stuff, it's very endearing to them, not for vanity purposes, but just because that's how they know that they're loved and appreciated, because they have spent so much time not hearing that, not being validated in that way.
Yeah,
interesting. So it goes the extra mile.
Well, and do you find that people, maybe with that love language, do you find that they have trouble taking a compliment?
I don't know if the two are, mutually exclusive, because I think insecurity comes into it for not accepting a compliment. I mean, I believe that those people could have the words of affirmation love language, so even though they can't receive the compliment because it feels uncomfortable, I think deep down they actually appreciate and like it. Whereas someone whose love language it might not be, whether they have insecurities or not, it wouldn't really matter to them. But I think the insecurity part would exaggerate the compliment. So if they didn't really care because it wasn't their love language, I think if they're insecure, they'd have more of a defensive response to it, and almost like a rejection of that compliment.
Okay. That's interesting.
That's what I would think. I mean, I could be totally off my rocker, but that's kind of my interpretation of it anyway, from just what I've observed and from experience.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think too, like a couple of the other categories that we can touch on is in friendships and workplaces. So with friendships too, those can often be taken for granted. So I think just reminding your friends every now and then, if that's their love language, just how much you do appreciate them. I know Shelly, for sure, her love language is words of affirmation. So she's very appreciative of it. And she knows that used to be mine as well. So we make sure to use words to let each other know. And don't be fake. Don't use love languages as some narcissistic manipulation tool. It needs to win someone over. It has to be genuine.
It has to be totally genuine.
And you can know, don't be disingenuous about it. Be authentic when using words. People can tell, people can feel your energy. And
yeah, it's true.
So make sure to appreciate your friends. And again, so if you're gossiping or talking behind friends' back and that's their love language, it's going to be that much worse when they find out. Because the truth always comes on the wall, y'all, so don't do it.
It's true. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. Like
I love this. Yes. Yeah. You can run on for a long time.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. When you're thinking about work relationships and stuff like that, like, I mean, can you really have quality time or physical touch be a love language? Really?
Yep. But we're not getting into those in this episode.
No, I know, but I feel like words of affirmation would be the biggest, like you'd have the most ability to have that as your love language at work.
Oh, there's ways to do all of them.
And where is the relevance of a love language at work?
Well, it's very important, and I have personal examples of it. So
really?
Absolutely, they're huge. So if you go to your job and you're treated as just a number, you're never appreciated, you're never told you're doing a good job, you're constantly criticized, you go unnoticed, you have no voice, you have no autonomy, no saying anything. It's just a micromanaging and criticism. That's not going to feel good. Now, if your love language is words of affirmation, and our viewers can wait for our next episodes to touch on the other ones.
Yeah.
Retention. Well, then you're already going to feel undervalued. But if your boss says, hey, you did such an awesome job on that project, way to go, that's going to go a long way. It's going to make you want to be more productive. Or if they give you autonomy and they ask you for your opinion and say, hey, I really value your opinion. You have really good insights. Those are words of affirmation. Thanking you and encouraging you and doing all that stuff. Recognition is huge.
And I know I have made lasting friendships and stuff like that from previous jobs. I recently, my best friend and my boyfriend I met while I was working at this one job. Mm-hmm. We all worked together. And I have known them both. I've known my best friend for 15 and my boyfriend for 14. So I've known them for many, many years. And the relationships have progressed outside because I think that we speak a lot of the same language. And I don't mean that in a love language. I just mean, we talk nerds. We're nerds. We're huge nerds. But it just made me think of like situations that I was in, and words of affirmation was absolutely my love language at work. Mm-hmm. Because when I was working with them, one of them was my supervisor. Actually, my best friend was a supervisor for a while, and I absolutely loved working for him. He was so much fun, and he was a great supervisor. He was a great manager, and it was not difficult for him to give someone a compliment, and it wasn't difficult for him to praise you for the work that you had done. And I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about everybody that worked for him. Right. And then eventually we had this other manager come in and take over, and we had gone through a couple. I guess they had, it didn't work out or whatever. But the one that stayed, at that point, I had been working there for a few years. I knew my job really well. I knew other jobs really well. And I was had my fingers in a lot of pies. Mm. So I was the jack of all trades, master of none. Right. In essence. But even the little compliments, like the little, hey, good job today, or that kind of thing from my supervisors went a really long way. It made me work twice as hard. Exactly. And that's where I was getting at too, is the lack of appreciation and your boss taking credit for your work, never recognizing you. That off-puts me and makes me not want to work as hard, because then I feel like I'm invisible and in the background, and it doesn't feel great. Well, and so this new manager came in and kind of took over the reins, and, I was kind of there was one of 3 of us or 4 of us that were kind of like the core group, and we had been there the longest, and we knew the ropes, and we were bringing this person in to kind of show them and let them take over. And by that time I was doing the work of a couple people, and because they didn't have the hours, or they didn't have, the salary money or whatever, they hadn't hired somebody else to do the extra work. So because I knew how to do it, I was just doing it. Right. But by that time I was starting to get tired. Right. And I was starting to burn out a little bit. And this new manager came in, and the very first performance review he ever gave me was, "You're not the superstar you could be."
Oh, wow. See, and that probably felt bad.
Oh, that was like a kick in the face.
Yep. And that's what I mean. It's the words, and they say in the Bible too, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Yep. It truly is. It can breathe life into someone or it can completely defeat them.
Oh, I was absolutely defeated.
Yep. And that's why it's important that, you have these love languages, especially within your romantic partnership. I mean, that's the person that you're anchored to, essentially. And most people by that point are, living together, married, whatever, kids, all that stuff, or aspire to.
Yeah.
That's where most of your time is going to be dedicated. Then workplaces as well. So it's important to have transference of the languages across all different levels of relationships.
Yeah, I agree. I went from having a workplace that I absolutely loved and enjoyed, and I was glad to go to work because I was glad to see these people, and I was glad to have that rapport and that relationship and be appreciated for the work that I was doing.
Yep.
And then to have that, and it was kind of like thrown in my face. I'm pretty sure like this manager was like kind of sexist, and I was, I was the girl that I would just like, I did everything. I ran around. I did, I wasn't scared to tackle most things.
That was like me too. I was a fast learner, fast grower, got promoted a bunch, and I was essentially a threat to some managers and supervisors. They didn't like it, so they'd micromanage or cut me down or wouldn't give any recognition. And some managers just don't feel, I know one of my managers, she doesn't like giving recognition because she says she doesn't need it. I'm pretty confident her love language is receiving gifts, though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she doesn't like that. And I tried to explain to her, but that's necessary. That's something important to me that I'm not receiving that helps keep me going, and it's not happening.
So my question to that is, this manager that came in, or yours, is it on them to understand that, because my love language is words of affirmation and that's what I need to do my job properly? Is it on them?
Well, it's not on them to figure out, but it's for you to communicate. I wouldn't pose it as a love language.
No, of course not.
I would say, have you heard of the 5 love languages? I mean, it's not applicable in a romantic sense, but a work, say a workflow, a work production, a work satisfaction, I would call it that.
Okay.
A work performance and satisfaction language for me is recognition, acknowledgement, appreciation. That drives me to work harder, and that's something that you can absolutely say in your interview. If they say, like, what's important to you, what's important for us to know about you, that's something that I would say to communicate off the hop. And then if they don't do that, then during performance reviews, which I'd say most companies have, then you can remind them that it is absolutely on your management team, supervisors, to implement it once they are aware of it, because I think they want retention ultimately, and they want happy employees. And I think it's a huge disconnect, especially in workplaces, to not apply that.
I agree.
Just like I think in romantic partner relationships, a lack of love language and putting that in and wanting to learn them and try is also the detriment to that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you can't communicate with your partner on that level, like if you can't give them that basic of a need, like if you can't give them any of that, like that seems like it would be very counterproductive.
No, it deteriorates them. It deteriorates a relationship. So you want to use those love languages to build it back up and patch any holes. And now I'm going to get a little bit more animated.
Hi.
So, hi, everyone. I wanted to also prove a point this episode as well.
Yes.
Because it's very important for people with any love language, but words of affirmation in particular. Make sure that you are confident within yourself and try not to take people's words seriously or to heart. If there's negative critique or criticism, be confident within yourself and who you are.
Yes.
For instance, there's one reviewer that doesn't particularly like some of my personality characteristics, maybe talking loud or laughing too much or singing, but that's personality. Now, if we go out there and we mute ourselves, like, I don't know if you recognize the difference, but in the first half of the show, I made sure to make it very obvious that I was talking a lot more quiet and monotone, which was actually really hard.
I know. I could sense it. I'm like, and I'm sitting over here going, I'm not getting a whole lot from you right now. Okay.
I can tell, and it's funny, you guys.
It's so funny.
Because I could feel her energy was off.
Yeah. Even though I knew this was happening.
Yeah, I could feel her energy and her vibe, like, thrown off because of my energy.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I wanted to do that on purpose to prove a point. I don't care what you think or say. We want your feedback always. But when it comes feedback about like show length or details or anything like that, content, swearing, that's all cool. But when people give critiques about your personality, that is you, be you. It is so much easier to take those things to heart when words of affirmation is your love language, because those can penetrate a lot more deeply and ruin who you are. And I wanted to showcase a point of don't let that affect you. Be you. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, absolutely.
And those people are a lot more like vulnerable. And I could be one of those people that are more vulnerable because my love language is words of affirmation. But I just don't care. I'm not ashamed to be myself. I am who I am. I would like to talk quieter sometimes, but that's, again, being muted for so much of my life, being over-talked, overlooked, not appreciated, not allowed to have a voice. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I feel my voice projecting and pushing louder, but I'm not going to stop my laughs or my jokes or anything like that. No, don't stop
the energy, because the energy is what...
It's contagious.
Absolutely it is.
And that's just it. You want to be genuine and build each other up. And that's the biggest thing, is people have far more in common than what sets them apart. So if you can really get to know someone fundamentally and on that level, we all have basic needs to be met. And you want to meet people where they're at. Seek to understand people rather than to be understood.
Oh, I like that.
Right? And when each of you in that relationship seeks to understand the other one, you're naturally going to want to put into that other person and make them happy, which is going to come back around to you. It's going to be cyclical. So by working to make the other person happy and build them up based on their love language, you're doing it for yourself as well, because they're going to do the same in return for yours.
Do you think that people with the same love language naturally gravitate towards each other?
Nope.
No?
Nope. There's a total mix. There's a lot of people have opposite love languages, and a lot of people have the same.
Okay.
And Gary Chapman did talk about that a little bit in his book. It's all over the map, and sometimes it takes a little bit to hear what a partner is saying over and over again, what their repetitive needs are that they're communicating to you to understand what their love language is.
Okay, here's another question. So when I'm talking to, my boyfriend in particular, his love language is words of affirmation. I feel like because it's not mine, it's not my first, it's not the first up on my list, I feel like sometimes I'm going to overbear and I'm going to be too much. But maybe that's exactly what he likes. And I hold myself back because I'm like, I don't want to seem too over the top. And I don't want to seem, I'll use the word clingy. That's not the greatest term to describe it. But, I tell him all the time, I love you. I miss you. You're incredible. You're amazing. And I feel like he absolutely accepts those because he loves hearing that.
Well, I would say with love languages expressed towards your partner, a saturation is better than a deprivation.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Because when you deprive them, you're allowing those cracks to come in and that disconnect to come into play. If you're saturating it and you're what you perceive to be over the top or too much, they can tell you and let you know.
I was going to say, yeah, he'd probably tell me if it was too much.
Yeah,
that's true.
And as long as it's genuine and authentic.
Oh, yeah.
You really can't go wrong. Unless it's every 5 minutes. Hey, I really like your shirt. Hey, did I tell you I love your shirt? Your shirt makes your eyes look so good. Your eyes look really good today. And your hair looks amazing. It's okay, can you, what did you do? What did you take money from my wallet? Did you, did you smash my trailer park boys? I'm sorry,
Side joke.
Telling Courtney my trailer park boys theory earlier. Oh gosh, yeah. So as long.
Okay, well now you've said it. Now you got to expand on that. What is your theory?
Well, I feel like it's a lot of guys' guilty pleasure. They all love the Trailer Park Boys, but the funny thing is, from collective experience, is that the vast majority of the douchebags I know were obsessed with Trailer Park Boys.
Really?
Yes, it was their favorite show, and they loved it so much. Someone I dated, he's like, my ex used to really hate the show I used to watch. I was like, well, what is it? He's like, I can't say. And I just looked him dead in the eye. I'm like, it was Trailer Park Boys, wasn't it? And he just had this, like, Cheshire grin girl across his face. I'm like, I knew it. And he's like, I knew it. And then I found out later that was true. And he ended up being a narcissistic abuser. So there's that. But
gosh,
that wasn't a single case study. There's been a larger sample size.
I was going to say, that's a sample size of one? That can't be. Okay,
yeah, no generalization. But there's a bigger sample size.
Gotcha.
Sorry, Danielle. You're my friend out there.
Oh my god!
I know you like that show.
That was not the user and abuser, by the way.
No. That was Shmeeb.
That was Shmeeb.
Yeah. Little itty bitty troll.
Little baby.
Yes.
Little Shmeeble.
Oh, we digress.
But we digress, exactly.
Just squirrel moment. Now, how did the first half of the episode sound next to the second half with my point I was proving about personality? Did you notice the difference, viewers? And how did you feel? Yeah. How did you feel listening to that?
And what was the biggest difference in not only her energy, but mine?
Yes, because I could feel the difference in hers.
I can feel it in mine. I can feel it in my own.
Yeah.
I know I can feel it in my own. It's super. And that's the thing. I knew that I knew that she was going to do this.
It's so funny. I can tell it threw you off hard.
Oh, it did.
I was feeling really bad. I was going to keep it going longer, but I can't do that to you.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, I mean, we are actually celebrating today.
Oh, yeah.
We totally, tangent, sorry. But
April 17th.
April 17th is our official friendiversary. It's the day we met.
1 year friendiversary.
1 year friendiversary. I know. I feel like we've known each other all our lives.
Right? Like straight out of the womb.
Like childhood, high school best friends.
Oh my
gosh.
I agree.
It's like you're my sister from another mister.
Yes.
You know?
So, those straight out of Compton t-shirts?
Yes.
I think we gotta get, straight out of the womb t-shirts. That'd just be hilarious.
Give one to you, me, and Brett.
Right? Just repping?
Yep.
Repping the 204.
Oh my god.
Or straight from birth.
Straight from birth. That's cute. I like that one. That one's cute. But, I mean, and words of affirmation for your love language in a friendship.
Yes, that's definitely my second place.
That is definitely, it is very high up on that list.
Yeah.
In friendships,
totally.
For sure.
Because you have to show them you appreciate them and value them and not take them for granted.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. I don't know. I have not taken the test for that side. I have only done the romantic relationship aspect of it, but I do feel like my tops would be quality time and words of affirmation, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a theory or a thing. It's just something I did because I felt there'd be a difference, and there was.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a discovery along the way, so you won't find that in the book, sorry. It's just kind of a side quest I did.
It was a little bit of a side quest. Yeah, it was a little, and it was completely out of left field. I didn't know until recording day that this was going to happen. So, a little bit thrown off. But that's okay.
But our viewers, we also want to know, what do you want to be called? We were thinking the roadies.
Ooh, yeah.
Are you a roadies? I like that. If you like that, put a 1 in the comments section.
Yeah.
If you dislike it,
yeah,
give us a different option.
Give us a different name. Yes.
But 1 means you vote for roadies, and otherwise we'll wait to hear what options you have.
We'll wait your feedback.
Yes. But tell us too, what if your love language is words of affirmation, put it in the comments. Let us know. Are you words of affirmation?
And what kind of things do you like to hear?
Yes.
It is very different for each relationship, right? What are things that you like to hear from a friend?
Yep. Or from a boss or a coworker.
Yep.
Or your lover.
Your lover.
Your lover, Mr. Lover. Brad's going to mock me for my deep voice on that one. My ride. Don't you want to hear it, Brad? Don't you want to hear it? For your lover.
So how about you, Bree?
What do I like to hear?
How about you, Brie? What do you like to hear from your friends?
From my friends?
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny.
And does it depend on the friend?
No. You know what? The number one thing is that it's authentic and genuine.
Yes.
I don't like smoke blowing up my butt. No. if it's genuine and authentic and you mean it, because that's why my love languages switched, because people would say things and not follow through, and there would be an incongruency in their words and actions, which I think is why my words of affirmation took a dip. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry, because I'm just thinking about, like,
when you say shut up, Bree?
I was gonna say, no, fuck off, Brian.
No, that's different. That's funny. We have an inside joke. That's funny. No, I mean, like that.
I give you shit, and I will tell you where the bear shits, because I know that that's what you need from me.
Yeah, and likewise.
Yeah.
But that's funny. I like that. For me, you know what? I love hearing from my friends just at complete random how they actually value and appreciate me. And you've actually done that yourself.
I bring you cream eggs.
Oh my gosh, that's a gift.
I know, that's a gift. That's so
and I hate gifts.
I know.
It does make me. I love it, and I think it's so sweet. But I will be honest, it makes me feel very anxious. I know small gestures.
I know.
I'm the worst. I'm like, can I like crap myself and run away and hide in a bush? Then I feel like we'll get into that. On the gifts episode.
I'm curious as to how that is charted then, because I'm exactly the same way. Like, I don't like gifts.
I know.
So, but you still rate on the scale. Like, it's still a part of your wheel. It's still a part of your.
I guess, I don't know.
Why is it even on there?
Well, probably because you
would appreciate some form of effort, maybe?
Well, I think it's like the thoughtfulness, because when you look at the questions and how they're worded, if it's something, it talks about like your lover thinking of you and giving you something because it reminded them of you. That's sentimental, but it's still a gift.
Yes.
So because you like receiving that thought or that token of appreciation, it's still a gift, but it's not, so obviously you're going to value it. So I don't think it would ever be a complete zero. It's just not, it's not that you don't like it, but it's not something that screams out to you. It doesn't build your love and the foundation of your relationship.
Oh, like you understand that it's a thing, but it's not your go-to.
Yeah, like you still, all of the categories, all 5 of them, you still appreciate it. It's not that you don't appreciate them. You just more, certain ones do more for you than others is what it is.
Yeah.
And they fill your cup. You want to have a full love cup.
You want to have a full love cup. That's cute.
We hardcore scrolled. I was going to give an example of what you did.
What did I do?
It was like a month or 2 ago. You had just sent me a really lovely text message.
Oh.
Right? You're just so thoughtful and so sweet, and like wrote this nice long paragraph just of appreciation. It was completely out of left field, and it was so touching. It gave me like teary eyes because I was happy. It was so sweet.
Was that when I thought I was neglecting you?
Yes. And it was so sweet because I didn't feel that way, but I so appreciated that you were being mindful and thoughtful of how I could have felt. And then you wanted to like build me up, and it was so sweet. And that was huge. That boosted my love meter cup and strengthened our relationship because of that.
And we've talked about this many times. Like, our viewers are no strangers to the fact that we did get off to a little bit of a rocky start.
Yep.
Because of circumstances.
Yep.
But, the communication that we have built.
And y'all, we can yell at each other.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And like
we can flat out she'd be like, I'm not arguing with you about this.
I said that earlier.
You said that today. And I was totally kidding. I wasn't even like,
you know what? Because again, it comes down to my
how you say it.
Yeah,
what you say is how you say it.
Sensitive, because you can, but I can do it too.
Yeah.
It's this sharpness that comes in your voice, and it sounds so judgmental. And I'm like, and when I'm not in the mood, I'm like, I swear to you, Courtney, like don't bark up my tree now. I love you, but I'm not above murder right now. So like, I don't even argue to you about this right now. And it's like, and we do that, but we know it's not. We're not actually mad at the person. Yeah. No. And we'll be like chill in like 10 seconds.
Or we can be like, I'm not fucking arguing with you about this. Anyways. Like,
said vice versa.
It's true. We've had like, you go from 60 to 0 in like a breath.
Right? Because there's no malintent. But again, that's because you have to build relationships with people over time and keep pouring into the cup and being consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Consistency is huge.
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of not only friendship, like relationships, but friendships lack.
Workplaces are the same.
Gosh, yes.
Work because your employees, like, they're up your wazoo. You're the star person when you're first hired because they have to make the workplace look all shiny, just like romantic relationships.
That's true.
Oh, let me swoon and love bomb
Honeymoon
you.
period.
Yep, brand new friendships, same thing. You're all excited about them, and then over time, you take them for granted. And it's not always malicious and conscious or intentful.
No.
It's just because complacency can end up with overlooking them or taking them for granted.
I also think that burnout is definitely a thing.
Yep.
We all know coworkers. We've possibly been that person, like you're on the edge of a burnout, like you're circling the drain.
Yep. Or when all the work things are put on you and you're the fastest, most efficient worker and everybody else sits there humping the dog.
And you're a yes man.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not a yes man. I'm just efficient and fast, but it shoots me in the foot. Like I learn fast, I work fast, I get things done fast. I don't have it in me to go slow.
No, I don't either.
But let me tell you, when I start being taken for granted in that way, and people start putting more on my plate or trying to force their workload on me to be lazy or take advantage of me and not even appreciate or be kind or ask, oh, hell no. Because then guess what I start doing? Well, I just start taking longer bathroom breaks. Boss makes $1, I make a dime, so I'm going to shit on company time.
Shit on company. I was totally just going to say
right?
that.
You want to go? Then maybe my pee stream is going to take an hour and a half to come out. I don't know.
Get out of my brain.
Right? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I need to stretch because my back is sore at my computer while you guys are all in the kitchen around the water cooler gossiping, and I've been working this whole time, never taking my little breaks, but y'all want to yep.
And I know people that are like that. Like, I know people that will not take a vacation day. I know people that will not.
Right? I never were taking my micro breaks. Ever. And I get crapped on because I'm efficient and work from home? No, I don't think so.
It makes me angry for them.
Right?
Like, why don't you say something? Why don't you speak up?
Yep. For the people that don't, totally.
Like, I want to speak on their behalf. Like, I want to go and be I want to stir some shit up.
I have done that, yes. But you can lead a horse to water, and they can either lift their head up and take a sip or keep it down and drown. That's on them.
Oh, okay. That is a very interesting phrase. Interesting turn of phrase.
Briannisms.
Now,
for 500
we could patent that.
You know, my old coworkers at my favorite job told me that. I'm still friends with that boss.
Nice.
Shout out to you, Leanne.
See, and that's the thing. Like, you have people that build you up, and you have people that, even if words of affirmation is not your love language, you will never be, I can't say you'll never be, but most people would never really be upset by a compliment. Right? Or being praised for a job well done.
And that's just it. Like, somebody might compliment you today, and a month down the road, you might not even remember exactly what they said, but you'll always remember how they made you feel. Those compliments made you feel, and you'll associate that feeling with them.
Yes.
Which is absolutely huge. And that's something that you'll carry with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh gosh, totally. Like, it'll be ingrained in you. Like,
even in school. It works in school too. When teachers can make it or break it for students. I had a teacher that was nasty to me. She was my dad's best friend's wife, and she was just awful. I dropped out of chemistry, which I really loved and wanted to learn because of her. Now, conversely, in university at the U of W, when it was again, words of affirmation was my love language at the time, and that professor said to me that, B+ average will never get an honors degree or end up in their master's. So, sure showed you. And I had one professor, Gary Martin. I love him. He's amazing. He's a fabulous human being. I can't express the amount of gratitude I have for him. And it's the only textbook I kept. His behavior modification textbook with Dr. Pear. I kept that, and he encouraged me. I transferred over to the U of M, University of Manitoba, and he turned me into a rock star just by his words of affirmation and belief. And I don't remember what he said. This was 2010, 15 years ago.
15 years. Gosh.
15 years ago. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember exactly how he made me feel.
Yep.
And when I went over to that university, I had straight A+ for 5 courses in a row.
Atta girl.
Bam, same thing for my next 5 courses. It went a whole long way.
Now, when you think back to that, the words of affirmation for you, obviously there was a genuine sentiment behind them.
Yep.
Do you think that it would have been the same if it was, and I'm talking in a teaching sense, like, because teachers are always, they're mostly encouraging to a lot of students. I'm sure that there are exceptions. Well, I mean,
where'd you go to school?
Private.
Oh, there you
go. Teachers were the only people that were nice.
Yours were not. We had some,
yeah. But, like, I mean, if you had, well, you could be on either side of that coin. If you had good teachers or if you had bad teachers, was it better to receive bad from a good teacher or good from a bad teacher?
I thought you were going to phrase that a bit differently.
Sorry.
That's okay. I thought what you were going to say, is it better to receive bad from a good teacher or fake good?
Oh.
From a bad teacher, because then I can answer the question more easily.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah. That
is that where you want to go with that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I can work with that. So I rather receive bad from a good teacher. 100%. Because again, things aren't failures in life. Just because you plan to do something, wanted to do something, we're going to go a certain route, or your behavior, you chose something or whatever it is, it's not a failure. It's a learning opportunity. And if that teacher has the ability, because you know it's a good teacher, you know it's genuine, and they want to steer your ship in another direction and change the wind in your sails, then that's a good, genuine correction for the betterment of you. Future you will thank you. If it's a bad teacher giving a fake good compliment, you can feel it's disingenuous. I
was gonna say, you can feel...
You're like, okay, you're blowing smoke. And you're just kind of rolling your eyes at them. You don't take it. And I think that also, I'm just thinking of this out loud, and I think this is true for me and maybe other people who have had insecurities. When you have that your whole life and you can tell that people are disingenuous or
sense it.
Yeah, or giving fake compliments, or constantly you get a lot of criticism and fake compliments as well, I think that actually facilitates insecurity down the road. So, which would actually, even if words of affirmation is your love language, such was mine, and is mine still high up there, is you actually get that kind of resistance to it, and you don't accept compliments, because I didn't accept the compliments for a long time. It wasn't up until a few years ago that I finally started learning how to accept them and believing them.
So how did you know that your love language was words of affirmation if you didn't know how to accept a compliment?
I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know anything about that until I actually read the Love Languages book for the first time. And did the quiz. And then it all started piecing together and making sense for me. That was a completely new concept. I knew that I liked when people said nice things to me.
Yeah.
But I also knew that it felt uncomfortable and I didn't believe it. And again, I think that's because it a lot of times it came from someone who, I know exactly where I'm going to go with this, where it came from someone who's disingenuous or there's an incongruence, which is why I shifted to quality time. So I'm going to use my mother. I don't care who gets offended. Don't care, because it's the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts, y'all. She was awful to me. And it would be 1 minute, oh, my daughter's so good, I'm so proud of her. Oh, you're so intelligent, you're such a good kid. To, you selfish, ungrateful bitch, you were a mistake I never should have had. Oh, my daughter's terrible. All this stuff to my face and behind my back.
Oh, gosh.
So any of those compliments became completely nullified and void because of the visceral negative compliments that were constantly drilled in my head. And there was a duality between the two. So now that person is no longer credible because they're constantly contradicting themselves. So over time, I just stopped believing compliments and didn't think that could be true, especially when it comes from someone that's supposed to love you.
Supposed to love you, absolutely.
That could be so poisonous. So when you take that and you have that transference growing up into romantic partnerships, you start to really question them.
Yeah.
And when you don't have the education or the experience or the mindfulness or awareness to understand yourself or your traumas or where these things stemmed from or what your love language is, I don't know, I'm talking with my hand, y'all can't see me. Personality's coming back, cheese whiz. But once you, I just scrolled on tangent to myself, but once you learn what those things are, then you can start to understand why you have that kind of a response to compliments, and that mindfulness will allow you to be a bit more open. But before you have that mindfulness or you're aware, when someone that you have a more than friendship with gives you those compliments, you question it because you've been driven to question it from the people that are supposed to love you. And maybe you've had nasty partners as well that have reinforced that along the way. So it builds up a bigger wall of resistance. So it takes a lot longer for that loving, healthy partner to chip away at it with their words of affirmation. And maybe you reject it, maybe you fight it, but deep down with those people, I do believe it feels good. For me, that was the case, but it just took me a long time to accept that sometimes what these people are saying is actually true. And you can feel it. You can feel the difference in the energy.
And I mean, I know the answer. It's more of a rhetorical question at this point. But, when you find out that someone that is either supposed to love you or someone that is supposed to be in your corner, or your friend or your family or whatever, and you find out that they're talking behind your back, does it automatically flip that switch for you? Like, is it automatically like their words of affirmation don't mean as much to you?
Correct. Yep. It absolutely will.
Yeah.
It'll absolutely damage it. It'll ruin their credibility. And Chapman talks about in this book. It's a modern example. He talks about gossiping and talking behind someone's back. And that's why when you fight with your partner, y'all, don't go running around telling every Dick, Tom, Joe, and Harry.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You're going to be presenting yourself again with that partner. Eventually it'll come around, or those people start acting different.
Yeah.
You keep your conflicts within your relationship and try and resolve them within your relationship, or like a neutral third party completely outside of it, a counselor, whatever, something.
That's nobody's business but yours.
Exactly. Yeah. So it works in a negative way as well.
Yeah. I can well imagine.
Words are very, very powerful. They penetrate deep.
They do. They really do.
So I think that's pretty much all I have for words of affirmation at this point, but I would love to get feedback from our roadies.
I would love to get feedback from the roadies. I agree. I think that, like you said, words are very, very powerful. They can make or break a lot of relationships,
yes.
I think, whether it's your love language or not. But I think that it's very important to tune in to that. And if that is your partner's or your friend's love language, tune into that and absolutely be mindful and use that.
Yes.
For good.
And think before you speak.
Yes, please.
Always.
Always think before you speak. It will never, ever hurt.
Managers and supervisors, take note. Take note. Careful how you word your criticisms or your constructive feedback. Let's call it that instead.
Yes, constructive feedback. That's good. I like that better.
Yes.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Stay tuned. Next week, we will be diving into quality time. So, welcome back to Pause and Appreciate.
And this one's very exciting, especially for our Winnipeg clubhouse.
Absolutely. We
Jets fans.
Winnipeg Whiteouts.
Go Jets, go.
Go Jets, go.
Please don't choke another playoff year, guys.
Yeah, guys, come on.
We have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I know this was part of pause, but this is just a quick scroll moment.
Sure.
Why do the Jets have nets if Hellebuck doesn't ever like to stay in it?
You know what? That is a fantastic question.
Right?
Anybody who knows me knows that I can love him or hate him. That game one goal that he let in because he was behind the net. He went behind the net.
Again.
Yeah, I know. He got cornered by two Blues players and he passed it to one of them and they tipped it in the net.
I'm really starting to think there's a conspiracy around who wins the playoffs, but we'll get into that another day.
It's entirely possible.
This is all about appreciation for
the Winnipeg Jets. And obviously, Winnipeg Whiteout is totally a thing. It's because it's been a tradition, I think, since the 80s. It was in response to the Calgary Flames. They did something about like a sea of red.
Yes.
So the sea of red. So that was in response to that. And since the Jets have come back in 2011, it has been, well, I guess basically since they made the playoffs, it has been a wicked tradition and it's just exploded.
All of downtown gets shut down. There's parties. Everyone's in white.
There's block parties. There's whiteout parties. There's one of my favorite things is if you drive down, we live like Regent area, all of the cars in the dealerships, everyone that is like on the street, like facing like right on the street level they're all white. They park all of the white cars on the street. So it's like, it's just a line of white as you drive down Regent through the dealerships. So that is so cool.
And we totally want to appreciate everyone that is sponsoring and participating in the whiteout, the dealerships, the restaurants, the storefronts with all the signage, everyone wearing white.
Yeah. And of course, you got to thank True North for bringing them back, right?
Yes.
There is nothing
well overdue.
There is nothing quite like sitting in the arena. You can even hear it on the broadcast on TV in a Winnipeg game
We always have the loudest fans.
We have the loudest fans. Not only that, but if you listen to the anthem, when they sing the anthem, as soon as they come to True North, yeah, you can hear it through the TV, even if you're not there. It's so cool. We have the best fans.
We really do.
We really do. That's one thing that Winnipeg is so solid for. We have the greatest Jets fans.
Spirited energy.
Oh, totally. It's incredible. So yeah, that's we just totally wanted to pause and appreciate for that.
Yes.
As it stands right now, while we were recording this, we've got 4 games down.
2-2.
We're tied in the series 2-2 with the St. Louis Blues.
2 more to go. You can do it, boys.
Don't screw it up.
Don't fuck it up, okay?
No fuck up.
No, you don't choke. No playoff. We get cup.
That's right. Yes, please.
Not been here long time.
Hashtag Stanley Cup 2025.
In Winnipeg.
Lord Stanley's Cup.
Yes.
To be won in Winnipeg.
Yes. Bring it home, boys.
Bring it home, boys.
And thank you again to all the fans, sponsors, and everyone celebrating.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you all so much. Until next time. You're listening to Blind Chats with the Backroad Chicks. Thanks for joining our late night cruise.
For help keeping your drive alive, please tune in next week for more shenanigans.